I'm now being joined by our guests tonight who will be taking forward this discussion. In fact, we're joined by Desh Ratan Nigam, who's a senior lawyer. Thank you very much, Mr. Nigam, for joining us this evening on ET Now.
Yes. It's wonderful to be on your channel, Sumita.
Yes, Mr. Desh Ratan Nigam, I first want to understand, your assessment of where this, seat sharing pact, this kind of an alliance is really headed. Will the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party will be able to take on the might of BJP? Because again, it's basically about casting a vote, not just for the BJP, but for the Prime Minister.
Well, Sumita, let us give you some facts and data. In 2019, the share of Aam Aadmi Party in the Lok Sabha election was 22.6% of the votes, and that of BJP was 56.9%. And therefore, the Lok Sabha elections are fought on an absolutely different footing. However, even in the assembly elections of 2020, the BJP increased its vote share by 3%, and also, in fact, by 6% in the assembly election when compared to 2015. And in the municipal elections, also they increased their vote share by 3%. Therefore, their vote share is increasing both in the assembly elections and in the municipal elections. However, the gap is huge when we talk of Lok Sabha elections. So even if you add the Congress's votes to 22.6% of the Aam Aadmi Party in 2019, they are still nowhere near. Congress has been reduced to 5% votes in the assembly elections. So at best, what you're looking at it is 32, 33, 34%, as compared to BJP's almost 57%. So Lok Sabha elections are fought on a very different footing. And if you recall, this I'm giving you the data of Delhi. If you recall Rajasthan, where the BJP had lost the elections, and Madhya Pradesh, where BJP had also lost the assembly elections, they had swept the Lok Sabha elections. So the two elections, so far as Lok Sabha elections are concerned, BJP is sitting very pretty. And one very common mistake that the parties do is that they think the alliance will also make the voters shift. Let us take the example of Delhi, where the Congress has been hammer and tongs on the Aam Aadmi parties for the liquor scam. How are you going to convince your voters that you are standing with them and contesting elections? This inherent contradictions in the Indic alliance or dotted alliance, as you call it, is not going to vote very well with the voters. That is where BJP has an advantage, a huge advantage, and certainly given BJP's grassroots, hold, the Panna Pramukhs or the page Pramukhs that we call, and Mr. Modi's popularity, and at the same time, the delivery of these schemes, which cuts across all religions and parties. There, a huge bank has come, and BJP is known for, performing their manifesto, promising and then doing and everything what is written in their manifesto, which is a rarity with the political parties, where the farm laws, if you recall, were implemented by BJP, which were in Congress's manifesto and also in BJP's manifesto. However, they were withdrawn. That's another story. But the fact remains, this alliance is, suffers from inherent contradictions, which will be open. And it is not going to be an en bloc shifting of the voters from one party to the other. Mind it, please keep that in mind. The voters are very smart. They're not fools. A huge number of them will either not come to vote from the Indic alliance, or even if they come, they might shift towards BJP. So BJP's 56.9% vote, which was in Delhi, is going to increase further. And even if you take the 2019 data, the out of 436 seats on which BJP was contesting, in 224 seats, they got more than 50% votes, which means just 48 short. And that if you combine all the votes of the independents, non-BJP candidates and Nota, when you combine all the rest, then BJP was winning 224 seats. Despite, and now if you look at it, BJP is also in alliance with other parties in various states, with regional parties. Therefore, probably they will increase their vote share further.
Right. Right. So, Mr. Nigam, you are clearly stating that it is, of course, the ideological differences that parties within the INDIA alliance have. Then, of course, Prime Minister Modi's, vision that he has for India going forward, and of course, the grassroots worker strength that the BJP has is, of course, going to weigh over this Aam Aadmi Party and Congress alliance as far as Delhi is concerned. You have spoken about arithmetic, but let me also speak about the chemistry of it all. We were, of course, there was a tweet just a short while back by Ahmed Patel's son, who has really opposed the Bharuch seat, saying that the workers of the Congress party are going to protest if that seat really goes to the Aam Aadmi Party. So the point being that seat sharing deals on paper are one thing, but how do you really reconcile workers on the ground? After all, elections are more about chemistry over arithmetic.
Sumita, the chemistry is far better than arithmetic. I only gave you the arithmetic. The chemistry aspect of it is the emotional aspect, the connect that the Prime Minister has with the voters, with his, inaugurating each project every day, probably much more than one can even imagine, or laying down foundations. So the development vision that he has already connected with the people. The emotions that are with the people are totally aligned with the Prime Minister. So he has a wonderful chemistry, right from Kanyakumari till Kashmir, or from Arunachal Pradesh to Gujarat. So though that chemistry is wonderful. And he has a one-to-one connect with the people, whether it is Pariksha Pe Charcha, when the students are, taking their exams, and these students will be voting for the first time because they'll be completing 18 years. So a huge youth vote bank, which is already there, concentrating on the women, the youth, the tribals, the SCs, you name anybody. So there is a scheme for them. 80 crore people getting free rations. And apart from these 80 crores, at least 55 to 60 crore people getting benefits from some scheme or the other of the government of India. And they are being delivered on the ground. That is the best part of it. Direct benefit transfers, and so many things that are taking place. That is the delivery mechanism that they have. On top of
Right,
that, as
Mr.
I
Nigam.
said, the booth level workers, which have direct connect with the people of this country in their own constituency. So I believe the chemistry is far better than arithmetic. Arithmetic may go wrong here.
Right, Mr. Nigam. Right, Mr. Nigam. So you're saying that the chemistry is far better than the arithmetic as far as the BJP juggernaut is concerned. And at this point, I'm now joined by Neerja Choudhary, journalist and political commentator. Ma'am, thanks very much for joining us on India Tonight this evening. I want to understand what is your perspective on the Aam Aadmi Party and Congress's seat-sharing pact. Mr. Desh Ratan Nigam saying that as far as the BJP is concerned, the chemistry is stronger than the arithmetic. And the arithmetic clearly states that BJP is like several steps ahead of the Aam Aadmi Party plus Congress combined. What's your take on this recent development?
See, I think the chemistry or the arithmetic is not the same in state elections as it is in the Lok Sabha elections. We saw that happen in 2019. Will the same story be repeated in 2024? That's a question mark, because the BJP had peaked in all over North India. Delhi seats, then Rajasthan all seats, Madhya Pradesh almost there, and so on. So, will the same happen, particularly after the Ram Mandir being constructed in Ayodhya, which seems to have electrified many parts of North India? Now, that's not the way it's being seen necessarily in West India, let's say Maharashtra. I won't go and say Gujarat, but certainly not seen the same way in Maharashtra or in the southern states as the main issue. But in north of India, it has affected people deeply. And therefore, they will look at the BJP, continue to look at the BJP. Of course, there is economic hardship. There are rising prices which are hurting people. But overall, Narendra Modi is the issue in this election. And will he be able to make up for all the losses, particularly in North India? So, arithmetic of how much AAP got in the last assembly election, will the Congress coming together? Yes, they may cement the minorities' vote in their favor. They may cement it to 95%. But the main question will be, how will the rest of Delhi vote? Or how will UP vote, where they have struck a seat-sharing deal formula? And one other thing that, this afternoon I was somewhere where people were saying that the Aam Aadmi Party had offered Congress 3 seats, which the Congress was not very happy about, like Chandni Chowk in East Delhi and Northeast Delhi, which have large concentrations of the minorities. And there, the Congress is afraid that the BJP will once again try and paint it into a pro-Muslim and anti-Hindu party and polarize on Hindu-Muslim lines. Now, I don't know how this is going to be sorted out, but overall, there seems to uh, be a seat sharing formula finally in place in both places, Uttar Pradesh and in
Ma'am,
Delhi.
finally
And
in place,
that
but
will give a
don't you think this is
psychological
coming in too late? I mean, we're just weeks ahead of the election. Don't you think this is coming in too late by the Congress party, which has been in a state of a limbo, pretty much the past few years, and we've seen leaders sort of dissenting, jumping ship to the BJP?
Yes, I think it's not only too late. I think what people ask is who's on the other side. Okay, we are unhappy about berozgari, about rising prices, but what on the other side? And that is something the opposition, they had built up a momentum last year when they formed India Alliance, but that momentum, they've allowed it to peter out. Now, as will arithmetic still continue to work, or will it be chemistry, as has been stated? And I think, as I say, Narendra Modi is the issue in this election, and where it will matter. And I don't know whether how much of a difference it will make. Of course, they say they will win that many in Delhi because the Aam Aadmi Party had done well. But then we know 2019 reversed all that. So I agree with you. They should have got their act together much earlier. Absolutely agree with you there.
Let me also get in Mr. Nigam right here. Mr. Nigam, then what does it really say about the state of affairs in Punjab? I mean, they've made, a seat sharing pact in Uttar Pradesh and now Delhi. Of course, several other states are also being talked about as far as these two parties are concerned. But could Delhi pave way for a possible seat sharing in Punjab as well for both of these parties?
Well, that could be a possibility, no doubt, Sumita. The fact remains that Punjab is one place where Aam Aadmi Party is banking to send its maximum member of parliaments. Therefore, will they budge or relent? I have my doubts, because giving seats to Congress will not be very beneficial for Aam Aadmi Party so far as Punjab is concerned. And especially the present scenario and the halat that you have in Punjab, especially with respect to agitation and all, I think Aam Aadmi Party will try to reap benefits out of it. And that's the best game plan that they have. So I have my doubts, maybe 1 or 2 seats, maybe one, but not more than one, I think. Maybe not a single seat to Congress, but because that's the only place where the maximum number of seats that the Aam Aadmi Party can get. Therefore, I have my very doubts so far as Punjab is concerned, and that clarity was
Right.
also there from Aam Aadmi Party, that they are very clear. But in order to, have some kind of perception building, they might try to give one seat to the Congress, but that too would be an overestimation of the situation.
Right, so you're saying that this is going to be an overestimation of the situation and nothing might really work out as far as Punjab is concerned. And of course, both of you, Mr. Nigam and Ms. Chaudhary, both of you stating that it's eventually really about BJP and how it has managed to not just position itself, but also position the work of its ground workers, position its policies, and of course, position Prime Minister Modi. On that note, thank you very much, ma'am and sir, for joining us this evening on ET Now and discussing what's the road ahead for the India Alliance.